Hey yo, what's good? It's Bodega Bams, and we listen to SpeakerBox X with V-Riv on 99.1 FM Downtown Radio.
You're listening to KTDT Tucson. We're 99.1 FM, Downtown Radio, the antidote to corporate radio. You're now tuned into SpeakerBox X, Subterranean Hip Hop in Effect, with your host, V-Riv. We have a very special guest in the studio. It's Dope Smoothies. Yo, I'm excited. So, Dope Smoothies, go ahead and introduce yourselves to everybody. Go for it.
Yo, Dope Smoothies. Yo, DopeSMOOTHIES.com.
Yeah.
I'm dope. Dope to some people. I tell people call me Christopher though, because I'm still just Christopher. But yeah, that's me.
Sweet.
Underground rap artist.
Sweet.
Indie,
awesome.
all that.
Awesome. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and go. Let's go ahead and talk about where you were born and raised. So where were you born and raised? For those that don't know.
Like Prince George's County, Maryland. All throughout the DMV. I probably never lived in Virginia like that. I remember my dad used to live out there, but DC, Maryland, high school, all through both cities and districts and states or whatever. DMV area is pretty much where I spend most of my life.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Other than like school and stuff,
Awesome. No, yeah, for sure. How's the music scene out there right now? Like, how is the music scene in DMV?
It's I think it's doing pretty good. Like, I think it's on it's on its way up. Like if the roller coaster, that moment that you don't know when it's going to drop. I think that is still in the ascension mode. Like we still got a lot of like raw, new territory that we got a lot of artists entering.
Nice.
So we just got to see how everybody just what's the word? Like everybody
integrates.
Yeah, exactly. Like see how everybody just comes together and makes it a actual thing that people are talking about in London and all these other places. Like they're talking about the DMV.
Sweet. No, that's awesome. It's beautiful. So what inspired the creation of your latest album called Send All Your Hate Mail? Have you been receiving a lot of hate mail? Is that what's going on, Dope Smoothie?
So look, basically, so originally that album title was for my debut project, which would have been before Wave Runner. Wave Runner came out instead of Send All Your Hate Mail. So Send All Your Hate Mail at the time, I had just come off of like going through this real traumatic experience with the police out here, and I was getting so much like racist like comments about just all that little ignorant stuff that people put online when they see these police videos. So like all the stuff I was seeing, it just was like, all right, like that's the mindset I was in 2016. So that's why I came up with the title, and then I made this album that kind of was a picture of how I was feeling at the time, just going through that whole thing. What I felt like that was too heavy to come out with before I came out with anything else. Like Wave Runner was my first project, and I felt like Send All Your Hate Mail would have been too heavy. Like it'd have just been like, yo, like it would have been hard to like, who are you? What do you even like? Where are you even coming from? So I shelved it, and then like I just always knew it was going to be a project that I had called Send All Your Hate Mail. So none of the original songs made it from the first one. So like that's still a project. Like I still have the original one, but none of those songs made it. But what I can say was it seemed like everything came full circle, because by the time it was time to drop this version of that title, yeah, like people be out here. It's a weird, like I said, the scene is doing good, and that's because like I could see the big picture. Like I could see the forest, and I'm not like so focused on these dead trees over here or this stupid one over here that's leaning over and blocking this one from growing straight up. Is preventing it. Like I can see the forest amongst all that. So like when I think about all the stuff that I've been dealing with locally, like politically, locally, I guess, it's just like I felt like it was a perfect time. Like I dealt with like a little mini slander campaign from one of our like local DJs here. For what reason, have no like I have only my ideas and like my theories. I get into my conspiracy bag, but I never even met these people. I have never even met, never even like I get to thinking about the music that I've been making and the way that I've been going about being an independent artist, and like avoiding the circus, just really focusing on the art and focusing on the different artists around here, the producers around, or whoever. I really feel like I kind of made a lane of my own. And so it's kind of like the thing to like, I don't partake in this, so we got to do the little high school thing. We got to do the little chat thing. Like, oh, what is they doing over there? Just because I don't care to come do it. You know what I'm saying? Take part in the show. And so when I was making these projects, and I've Send All Your Hate Mail is like my 7th, and the follow up to that is like my 8th. But when I've been making all these projects, kind of just been making them through the pandemic. Like I didn't have all these songs. I kind of made them as I was dropping these projects. And as I got to Send All Your Hate Mail, it was like one of those things where I was like, I got this artist over here being like, it's kind of a tribe thing. It's kind of like, okay, that tribe has an issue with what I have going on. I just thought it would be more constructive or like better for my, I don't know, just better for my chi, I guess, to just put it on a project and kind of incorporate all the emotions of like a young Black man in this time. Like the times couldn't have made a better recipe like for into that album. Yeah, like just the weird hate over here, and then you got the election going on over here, then you have like COVID. It's like it was perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like I needed it's one of those ones where you yelling, and like if you just could yell in your car or something, and like at the top of your lungs, like everything's going on like outside. But if you could just scream at the top of your lungs in your car and then feel better and be like, all right, let's take on the world. That's what I feel like that Send All Your Hate Mail is.
Oh, it's beautiful. You did a great job describing it. I love the cover art. You have this fire going on, and then this beautiful dove is flying away. You know, it's like, you know, like even though everything's burning down, you're like, I'm still gonna be safe. You know, I don't have any regret. I didn't do anything wrong. To me, like a dove represents something pure. Yeah, I was like, I love that.
Yeah,
that was dope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And shout out to the homie in Germany, yo, like, because I had this idea because, like I said, it's a two-part album, Hate Mail and Return to Sender.
Yeah, Return to Sender.
Where you have just the way of the world. I mean, just the way of anything. Like, you're gonna have war, or you're gonna have destruction, and then you're gonna have like the sun, like you're gonna have recovery, or you're gonna have a new civilization, or you're gonna have something come out of it that didn't exist before, and it's gonna be, usually it's something beautiful, because in contrast to what you were just looking at, or what you were just around, it's fire, it's destruction. So usually whatever the new outlook on life is, it's a beautiful one in the grand scheme of things, because it's not that destruction and hell that you were just going through.
For sure.
So I think the covers really were like so important to the
integrity
to, like, just
of the album.
driving home the theme of that record.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna go ahead and take a musical break. I'm actually gonna go ahead and play your track called I love this track called All Black People Go to Heaven. It's fire. We're gonna go ahead and give it a listen.
You good. Hold up. Gotta check in. I don't see no black on here, bro. Nah, not even one drop. Nah, bro. Gotta go back to scratch, bro. Next in line.
All black people go to heaven. Why you think they treat niggas like dogs? Let that simmer for a second. Afterlife is life backwards, dog backwards, say God. I come back when I wanna. Low jack for Anglo-Saxon, stealing drip like your ancestors. GPS, run down, catch it. 38 on, made it special. Alpine system, clipping juice. I pull off, I'm sipping juice. I got all the different fruits. I got all the different juice. If you listen, ooh, oh, you must be different too. That's why I don't need no hook. That's why I don't need no look. I got the evil shook. I'm with the evil crooks. And that's why man's word is insane. Sign a slave deal, get a whip and a chain. They breaking your tap, you forget your name. It's a different world, you can ask Dwayne. Why you think niggas ain't trying to pass the flame? Why is it a game? Why do niggas get $1 million wanna bang? Who really gang? Who out here really gang bang? What's the price for the fame? Niggas be capping, they be the same. Say that he that, but he swerving the lane. Listen, I don't got a problem with you niggas, got a lot of issues. Why do you used to break a nigga down in front of all the children? Then turn around, tell niggas we got 5 issues. Then take our mama's rape and make mulatto children. Then they would paper bag you if they had to. One drop rule, say you black, better act cool and trust me. They don't want niggas knowing nothing. When something stinks, we say it's musty. When black women had white babies, they call them musties. For me, the irony is disgusting. Like Penn State protected Sandusky, while the real state pants protecting Satan from black entrepreneurs. Raising youngins who age like grapes, caged in. Soon as the air hit them, they bedridden, dead sleep. Niggas dead living. Have you ever heard of dead sheep? Me ether, thou shalt cross until it burns off the evil. Thou shalt not cross a nigga like me, cause I don't give a fuck. I will hit them up, I won't give it up. Till niggas can jaw rule in case, live it up. You want me zipped up, good luck. Better bring a body bag. Sweep they legs, make they body crash. Leave they heads in doggy bags. Now take that with you. Hollow spirits, some go wrong, niggas probably did it. Invisible clan, gaslighting the invisible man for how many years? I don't know, nigga, how many tears? I don't know, nigga, how many fear? I don't know, nigga, I don't give a how many it is. I told you all black people go to heaven. And all white people is complicit in evil if they not reppin'. And ain't it cognitive dissonance to see my black like a weapon, then turn around and say Black Lives Matter like you not who is in question. I hope you digesting this lesson. I hope you don't hear this black excellence and fear for your kids or feel threatened. I mean, I wouldn't blame you. It's in your nature to take niggas you think niggas wanna take you. And maybe we do. Cool. They be like, what about Martin Luther King? I don't give a fuck. You can feel how you feel. You want niggas dead in the field? Get your ass outside and get you some kills. Or send your blue uncle and daddy out. Caught them in Compton, they airing your daddy out. Turned to the bomb, then there's blood in your daddy mouth. In the window like Malcolm, cause they got my Eddie now. Won't catch this nigga strapped down. Yo, illegal pat down. I'm still playing 50 Cent, get rich or die trying. It's easy to see if you look at me. I won't back down. And Andre lived right down the hall. You try me wrong, I Franklin Saint and Ed Hall. Have his girl playing Aaron Hall, cause I won't miss you. And this ain't inciting no riot. I'm just enlightening mine who've been victims of violence. I ain't no criminal. If he can shoot me, I can shoot him. If they curry you, they bury you. They bury you, they murder you.
Vois la ville en fête et en délire, suffocant sous le soleil et sous la joie. Et j'entends dans la musique les cris, les rires qui éclatent et rebondissent autour de moi. Et perdu parmi ces gens qui me bousculent, étourdi, désemparé, je reste là. Quand soudain je me retourne, il se recule, et la foule vient me jeter entre les bras.
Welcome to my playhouse.
You're listening to 99.1 FM Downtown Radio, the Antidotes Corporate Radio. You're now tuning into SpeakerBox X, Subterranean Hip Hop in Effect with your host V-Riv. We just played the track called All Black People Go to Heaven by DopeSMOOTHIES. It's off his brand new spanking album called Send All Your Hate Mail, and we're just diving into the mind of DopeSMOOTHIES. Now, speaking of that track, All Black People Go to Heaven, you said some pretty intense things in there. Do you want to touch upon it? Like, they were things are going on in our society. Do you want to go ahead and elaborate on that? Because I feel like you're right. Like, there's with everything that happened with Floyd, that killing that happened, and I just feel like you did a great job in capturing all the bad stuff that's happening. Especially with the Black community. But go ahead and elaborate on that track.
Yeah. So I feel like so with that record, right? I had put out like an email, or like not a tweet or whatever. So I put out like this tweet about needing some beats, and I got this beat back. I got this. Normally, when you do that, artists don't do that. Like, first of all, don't solicit beats online, because it opens up. You open up your world of those bots you were talking about.
Oh,
just
wow.
flooding and like seeing keywords, or like seeing it, just like these people who just only search beats on Twitter, and then they just send you a bunch of like links to, it's impossible to ever find anything of value in that stuff.
Wow.
It never works. But in this case, I got a beat submission from a producer, and when I knew it was worth looking at, because they spelled my name right. Like, they put dope lowercase and smoothies up. Like, they put it right in the email. And I was like, okay, so that's personal. Like, that's like a person had to physically like know to do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, okay, I go through and I click on these beats. And I don't think I was feeling the first couple of beats, and I was like, okay, but they weren't typical beats, so I continued to listen. It just wasn't my taste on when I was listening to them. So when I get to the All Black People Go to Heaven beat, that beat tripped me out. Like it was like, yo, I couldn't even address it. Like I was like, is this going to be something that I'm able to rap on? And what I did was, no lie, I got the playlist on my phone. I made a playlist of like the most bizarre, like the songs that I listened to when I felt like a rapper was just going off like the whole beat or doing just something crazy lyrically. But in a particular way though, like not on no like super hip hop boom bap, like I mean like on kind of a mainstream level, but they still got off. And I think the list composed, it was like The Mob by Lil Wayne. It was like, of course, Mural by Lupe Fiasco. It was a bunch of different songs like that where people was just spitting on it. I think like the 5 Year Theory by Dom Kennedy, like it was a bunch of joints where it's like just straight, not no hook for real. And No Hook by OJ the Juice Man. So like I'm just listening to these songs in a playlist just to like get me into this mood of like rapping. And I still don't know what I'm gonna rap about because this beat is still so wild. So when I get on the beat, when I get on the song, when I write songs, I kind of don't know what I'm gonna write before I start. I like let whatever comes to me dictate where I'm gonna go with it. Like if I'm in a vibe, I'm in a feeling, I'm gonna just let it go. So when I get on this joint, I literally say, kind of like in a like news, like extra, read all about it, and a kind of like, yo, like just in All Black People Go to Heaven. Yeah. Like tell somebody like it's okay, like we're gonna be, it's cool, like whatever you gone through, it's gonna be cool. Like I got insider information that if you got any bit of like spice in your thing, in your cup, you're gonna be cool. They're gonna let us in. That was, and that sparked the whole like this whole like That's So Raven moment of seeing like the future of what I was about to say on this song, and then it just turned into me really feeling like just talk about it, like let's talk about it, like you know, really just get into the stuff that I don't think people want to talk about, but they know it exists, like they know it's a thing. Like I said, the thing about Penn State and Sandusky, and then like the real like devils and the real like evils of this thing have this thing like the prison system where you have these Black entrepreneurs, mostly people that made a living not working a 9 to 5, but in an entrepreneurial way, selling something that is now about to be just a normal thing. You can get like a weed, you can get like a they're gonna have like weed bucks, like Starbucks. It's gonna be like you can just have a card and you're gonna just be able to get your but what I'm saying is like we know that is a thing. Like we know that like these Black men that was able to make money, somehow make enormous amounts of money selling this drug that now is not even considered a drug no more. We're going to separate them from their children, and then they're going to have to grow up, figure out how to get around in this world without any type of like guidance, idea of, you know, anything. Like just their guidance is, this is where you're going to end up. So get it as best as you can get it one way or another. So boom. So I'm saying like, we know this. Everybody knows this. This is not even like what? It's like for real. Did that really happen? Like no, it's like that is normal. That's normal. And so I felt like I just felt like empowered. I felt like yo, I should just say this stuff. I should just say it. You know? Yeah, for sure. I'm so glad that you played that first. So like, All Black People Go to Heaven. It's like my troll record. Like I send it to certain platforms where I know the person isn't gonna want to hear that. I do it like the little submit hub shit. I'll do the little thing and be like, require the response, like whatever the little premium token is.
Yeah.
And it's so cool for me to know that it's somebody who I know is very uncomfortable playing that record, having to tell me a reason why it's not a cool record. Like, I think that was like my troll record. I opened up the project to it.
Cool. Awesome. No,
it's a great title too. It's a great title, and I think I'm gonna make a super group like Wu-Tang and call them All Black People Go to Heaven.
That would be.
That's really a thing. I'm not even joking.
Wow, that's a real. Okay, cool. Good to know. I didn't know. That's awesome. We're going to take a musical break. I'm going to go ahead and play the track called. I definitely love the track called "Criminal Minds." You featured Del Fargo, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a play.
As we jai like proceed, they give you the what 2020 get money. As we jai like proceed, they give you the what you need. East Coast, West Coast. As we jai like proceed, they give you the what you need. Criminal thoughts and a blue sport. I recipe and season you all. My destiny's to get money. Criminal thoughts and a blue sport. I recipe and season you all. My destiny's to rise and get money. Criminal thoughts and a blue sport. I recipe and season you all. My destiny's to rise and go through my flaws. I'm cold from the arc, though broken apart. I never splattered, got and started smoking a lot. So things don't matter, loading steel, cause I'm holding a lot. For real, shouldered a lot. Try and get niggas over, niggas got over a lot. I molded the plot, soldiering for whoever. I'm better when put together forever. I'm with whatever, wherever, whenever. Suspects always suspect this. Gut checks is better than nut checks. They reckless. We don't even want your respect. Forget your protections and them elections. But what stresses me to my midsections? You don't question none of your perceptions. You don't even be asking no good questions. Why everything mainstream got a hood essence? Kill. Got this look from Will, God keep it real. Niggas be countering with fix like they dollar bills. I'm in my head like do something that make me feel that. Trouble if this Mac gotta do you like dollar bill, but I still should invent time travel just to battle niggas who battle. Dazzle who fathom the art basil and all of my pen spasms. Skin tattlers who win rattle will babble about the gravel. Autographing.
Spazzing over my blackness, tracking to feel immaculate. Not good with captions, I'm posting action and beat attacking. Niggas stay inciting reactions as if they voting matters. Passes tricking members about they cash is madness. Niggas capping, so we riding past them. Government done took my niggas over, but we said was bracket. Clashing over classes, this is war, this ain't no up for battle. Calling more than beef, we been oppressors, we was up cattle. Hey, though we know the motive, niggas is little brother, unplug controller. Really think they winning, that's only cause the computer told them. Never fold and keep my manila open because I'm chosen. Niggas looking out for a savior, I'm trying to save the hopeless. You know the motives, my niggas going above and over. Redefining token, rob the rich and give it to the homeless. Molded the United States soldiers and then kidnap the POTUS. Flow has been the coldest, my smoothie dope and my rhymes is frozen. Schwelf!
You're listening to 99.1 FM Downtown Radio, the Antidote Corporate Radio. You're now tuning into SpeakerBox X, Subterranean Hip Hop in Effect with your host V-Riv. We just played the track called Criminal Minds featuring Del Fargo by DopeSMOOTHIES. Now, what inspired that track? Why everything, I love this line you dropped, says, why everything on mainstream has a hood essence, kill. Can you expand on that Spitfire line?
I just be wanting to know, like, why. It just seems to me like that's another thing that I was just saying. It's so obvious. Like, there's like no black mainstream put them in your face that isn't that doesn't have this certain look, that doesn't have a certain hood appeal, like hood essence about it. Like, there's no such thing, and if they do, they're like way weird left. Like, they're super artsy, they have to be super fashion oriented, like something, they have to belong to something that either hypersexualizes them, or in the other case, hyper weaponizes them, really. it seems to me like it's like that's what we want this to be. That's what we want you to look up to. This is what we want you to understand. Your greatest height is still just ghetto fabulous. It's still just hood rich. It can never be wealthy. It can never be real estate. It can never be nothing greater than hood rich.
Wow. No, yeah, I definitely enjoy that track. That was dope. So speaking of mainstream and how they are pretty much, corrupt. They've always corrupted the youth and corrupted images and they pretty much play on what is it? Stereotypes. They love stereotypes. So let's go ahead and expand on what's your opinion on the state of hip hop? Is it in a state of emergency? Is everyone being represented properly? Why or why not?
I think hip hop is doing okay. I think I just saw the I'm not really in touch with the Grammys and stuff like that. So first of all, if I could say F the Grammys on here, I would, because I don't really care for you. Like, it doesn't you really matter. That's how much you really matter. But I can't cuss on here. But the Grammys really don't make a difference to nobody, like nobody for real. But they hold like this white standard that, like, oh, if you're good enough for the Grammys, then you're good enough for the universe. Like, you're good, like you got your ticket. But they still hold this place. And so, like, for you to ask me where hip hop is, I think the Grammy nominations for best hip hop albums or best rap albums were like The Written Testimony, I believe the Freddie Gibbs album is on there. I believe the Hit Boy and Nas album is on there. It's really hip hop stuff right now. It isn't like, and that's not, and so look, this is the whole thing. That's not even saying that what we have now being more mainstream, the sound that's more mainstream, is any less hip hop or any less credible than those traditional, like, meat and potatoes that those albums represent. It's not saying that, but what it's saying is when you got something that is able to stick to its roots and still shine and be seen in a new light and a new perspective, that always holds more weight than you doing a new trick. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, for sure.
If you're able to run an old trick and it still get people, versus you being able to say, hey, look, I can do a quadruple backflip now. Like, yeah, but like die too. Like, you could actually, so that's why I think hip hop is straight. I love it all. I don't have, like, only thing I would say is I feel like the girls, and I'm not hating on none of the female rappers on their content. I love it all. I feel like you should talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I just feel like they don't have no style no more. Like, they style has gone out the window for sex appeal.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Cardi B WAP. I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I understand that.
I probably never listened to that song, so I can't.
Yeah,
even
you
hate
shouldn't. You probably would be like, what?
Because, like, I would never even listen to that song if it's not on in a place where, like, that's like. So, like, shout out to Cardi B. I just feel like the styles, like the way people dress, the way people, like, carry themselves, is more all driven to only sex appeal. And
yes, that's the problem.
I feel like if you got to do that, I feel like okay, we know you could do that, cool. Because let's come back with something else. So let's see if you could do it with something else. Do it a different way. Yeah. I feel like it's real cheap. It's cheapened the female rap experience when you're gonna talk about what you want to talk about, but I just feel like it creates this idea that it creates this image of Black women and minority women in general, where you just be like, this is the pinnacle. And I just feel like style could go a lot further than just sex appeal. Like, sex appeal is great. Like, we want it, it's great. But we like some
can you offer something else? Yeah. something that has more meat.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
can we have something with meat?
yeah, like just
no, I hear
something. The woman who goes to the office and dresses, you know, has to wear like kind of a more business attire. Can somebody be fly as hell on that? You know, just
on that tip, yeah.
I feel like it's just more to offer, and we're seeing a lot of people take the cheap way out. But other than that, I don't have no problems with hip hop. Hip hop in a great place. Shout out to everybody that's doing good.
Sweet. We're gonna go ahead and take a musical break. I'm gonna go ahead and play the track called Ritalin by DopeSMOOTHIES. It's off his brand new album called Send All Your Hate Mail. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a listen.
Twisted cap, snapper pop for adrenaline. Can't be blue in your jeans, they too feminine. Catch a cop in his jeans and denim. And made him choke, feel this rough, I'm with cinnamon. Bring these Zimmermen alive, we skinning the jail. I hit him, he say, we killing. We ain't giving them hell, we sending them. Man, try to put me on Ritalin. Almost got by a middleman. Got my nigga, now he sitting in. 6x8, couldn't wait just to put him in. Even if he dead raw nigga, that's still a man. They with his head, now he definitely would kill a man. Never been the bitch with Herb, still the man. I'm the new Dipset burger and killer. That's why I keep computers proving, stooges stewing. Foolish stooling, boogers ruling, puffers puffing, super ruin, bluffers bluffing, uppers cutting, doublers doubling, move the movement. Overseas, spread with ease, COVID me, woe is you, dope is me, molded minds, wake on 3, 1, 2, but only if you want to, 3. Why you wanna undo me? Can't you see you totally total? You worth less than you be owing. You a fanboy, you be blowing. I'm the man, boy, you be knowing. I don't have to go tell no one. I don't have to go tell no one. I'm not ducking smoke from no one. Pop got stressed out dealing. Depression with no healing, but ended. Head gone, right by the ceiling, same old song. Traumatized Black Lives Matter, new cracking. Adderall, add it all up, them crackers ain't mad at all. Pro, nigga, they got us all. 100-year head start, they was supposed to have it all. How we go from head start to no child left? Behind them doors, there's some foul stuff. Got us killing niggas down the street. Slaughterhouse the pigs, they on us once a week. Bustin' in our crib, who gon' ride for breed? When they dog me, niggas ain't ride for me. Now you wanna cry, why you ain't cry for me? I can't go to sleep, flashback, night terrors, the E. We ain't giving them hell, we sending. Man, try to put me on Ritalin. Almost got by a middleman. Got my nigga, now he sitting in. 6x8, couldn't wait just to put him in. Even if he dead raw nigga, that's still a man. They with his head, now he definitely would kill a man. Never been a bitch with Herb, still the man. Just a new Dipset burger and killer king.
Vision the king, I'ma follow my roots. Threat to him, Huey, a chest play the move. Trust in my hammer and faster than 2. Deceivers will last, highly no wood. Blinded the view, niggas locked in the box while the clan dressed in blue. Got pops on the pipe, take advantage of you. Still pop perks while they damaging you. Be a man in your world and see a man in you.
Had to get it from the bottom, had to grind for the mud. I'm a underground runner, ain't no time me up. Now tell her with the bun, lying in the mud. Hit back as a bitch, round in the mud.
Just the one thing about me. Reds call me Malcolm, they gon' label me a freak. 3 strikes for a bill, that's a burden on me. Don't die in that hill, whole time shit creep.
Often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy.
We ain't giving them hell, we sending them. Man, try to put me on Ritalin. Almost got by a middleman. Got my nigga, now he sitting in. 6x8, couldn't wait just to put him in. Even if he dead wrong nigga, that's still a man. They with his head, now he definitely would kill a man. Never been a bitch with Herb, still the man. This the new Dipset burger and killer king.
My phone not even in my hand. Pull down your window.
You're listening to 99.1 FM Downtown Radio, the Antidote to Corporate Radio. You're now tuning into SpeakerBox X, Subterraneous Hip Hop in Effect with your host V-Riv. We just played the track called Criminal Minds. We already talked about that. Ritalin by DopeSMOOTHIES off his brand new album called Send All Your Hate Mail. I really enjoy the track Ritalin. Ritalin is a drug they give to children or adults for ADHD. For those of you that are unfamiliar with that, you mentioned you mentioned COINTELPRO, which I want to go into, and you also mentioned in that track No Child Left Behind, and then you said there is behind them doors some foul stuff. So let's go ahead and elaborate on that, because those words stood out, and I know about COINTELPRO, but can you go ahead and talk about that, expand on that?
So it's the counter. So COINTELPRO is was and is a counterintelligence agency, basically, and it was used by the FBI to infiltrate the Black Panthers, and you know, just to basically neutralize any threats. I don't know, I guess threats to whatever their perfect society would be. But the reason why I think that it's a greater I think it's a new task force of the COINTELPRO pros out here. And I feel like it's amongst rap music. I feel like it's amongst hip hop music. I feel like 6ix9ine is an agent. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's an agent. He's one of many.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like a individual that's like that don't. I think he's like at a level that a lot of people haven't reached. And this is all just my thoughts, but I just feel like there's more people that are like him that are in plain sight, and they're used to get the arrest and get the, you know, the effects that they are put there to do. I feel like it happens a lot in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, but I know Tekashi 69, he did a lot of well, I actually watched the documentary on Netflix they have about him, and from what I got from that, they talked about how he was very he dressed very controversial. Like he would have like some sexual innuendos all over his I unfortunately can't say on the radio, on his shirt, on everything he wore, to name attention. So people would pull him over and be like, "Yo, I want to take a picture with you." And that's kind of how he started. And then he also started he started going and hanging out with people in the hip hop scene in Bed-Stuy. I think he's from Bed-Stuy, New York. And then that's how he started getting more recognized or seen, because he dressed very not provocative in how we think provocative, but like the words that he had on his shirts and on his pants would name the attention. And that's what I heard. And I know he did some stuff that nobody's ever done before in the hip hop music industry. Like he would perform sexual acts in the music video. So he did some stuff that has never been done in the hip hop scene in terms of the music industry. Like he literally had sex with these women as he was rapping and doing whatnot and all this other crazy stuff. So I mean, it's not far fetched that he could. I mean, I could see that happening, because I think there's other wannabes wanting to do what he did. But he did some really messed up stuff. I mean, he's not a good, like, I don't know what's the appeal, because he's done more bad than good for the community, I believe. You know, and he's also gotten people arrested that, you know, he should never had. He basically, you know, the story, he snitched, you know what I mean? And
right. So look,
and he did.
As far as COINTELPRO goes, he's a perfect operative, or whatever you call him, CI, whatever. He ain't confidential no more. He's the perfect type of person that can infiltrate the industry and bring down crime rings, or bring down certain Black entrepreneurs, like I was talking about, and all Black people go to heaven. And so to fast forward, you mentioned No Child Left Behind.
Yes.
So look, I say how we go from Head Start to No Child Left Behind or something. And because it just doesn't make sense. It just seems like it's always a cycle of these new programs and initiatives for the Black community, or these urban inner city kids. But then it just seems like a joke, an inside joke almost, because you say you have the Head Start program, but then you got the No Child Left Behind program. But it's like, if they got a Head Start, how did they get left behind? Supposed to be getting a Head Start. It's all like a punt, like it's all like a running like joke on us. And so I just I thought it was a cool theme right there.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned also there's some foul stuff going on behind closed doors. And I believe that, like, I listen to Young Pharaoh. I mean, I know you've listened to Young Pharaoh too. Young Pharaoh has this, well, for those of you that don't know, Young Pharaoh has this YouTube he's a YouTuber, but he has informative stuff to talk about politically. I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of it holds weight. So but I definitely you know, he does talk about how behind closed. What happened? Go for it.
I said he's crazy. Young Pharaoh is a lot. He's heavy. He's heavy. Definitely, I definitely checked him out.
He's heavy.
I mean, if you watch his channel, you will get a good idea of like a lot of the stuff that that goes on behind the closed doors that he's focused on. Like he talks about a lot
Yeah.
of the political stuff and all that over there. It's a lot of stuff going on behind
A lot of
closed
stuff
doors.
going on. Yes.
Yeah. In all these worlds, and
Yeah.
to each his own. Like to each his own. I just feel like a lot of it's a power thing. Like a lot of it's like power dynamics behind it, and those things that's happening behind closed doors dictate. It just reminded me of a Lil Wayne line from Shooter, but they dictate what happens out in the in the public. And so when you're up against that and you have a bunch of consumers and like the minds of consumers that just follow the yellow brick road that's laid out in front of them.
Yeah.
When I know like somebody is not who they're portraying themselves to be.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
Like, how do you even carry yourself? Like, do you be like, do you make it known? Like, do you be the guy that blows up the spot to
right.
be? You should talk. Like, I wouldn't even want to mess with you because you blew the spot up. Like, but when you know what's going on in the spot, it's like that's crazy. But it's a lot of a lot of that going on.
Yeah, it's sad to say. I feel like a lot of the information he brings forth should be mainstream because it holds weight. And it's upsetting because I've actually had a conversation with some of my friends about him, and they're always quick to judge and quick to jump the gun and quick to not want to see that the world is not what we thought it was. The world has corruption, evil to the infinite extent. And it's dark. It's not a safe place. And I feel like more people need to be aware of that because we're living in it, and we have to save the children, or our children. We have to save them because there's a lot of bad stuff going on, and it's sad that the mainstream media is totally blocking it out, or downplaying it, or doing a lot of just taking things and misleading people with the information. So it's just a sad reality.
I don't think it's sad that the mainstream media. I think it's sad that the mainstream media exists. I don't think it's sad that they are doing what they're designed to do. What I do think is sad is that people are unable to recognize. So I don't know if you ever remember how old you are. Like when you used to go to the grocery store, it used to be like tabloids in the grocery store, and like right at the counter. But back in the day, it used to be way crazy. Like now, it might say something like somebody broke up or somebody whatever did this, something, another sex tape or something. It might something that could be true or could not be. But back in the day, it used to be the craziest story on the front of these tabloid magazines. But people were able to look at certain things and just be like, that is tabloid garbage. Like there used to be a show called Hard Copy, and they would be like, that's tabloid garbage. But if you look at anything now, it's all that. It's not. It's literally all of that. And I think what is sad is that people aren't able to recognize that mainstream anything that's mainstream, mainstream media, mainstream music, anything that is quote unquote mainstream is not necessarily in your best interest. It doesn't have your best
100%. I agree with you totally. Like that's I just feel like people are quick to judge independent
where you think it's going to take you. Like the mainstream is not going where it's going. It's going to an entirely different place that you do not understand that it's going, but you're happy to go there because the music's great. The story makes you feel good.
Good.
Come on, fam.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with you 100% on that. The mainstream ain't where it's at. It never has been where it's at. But yeah, going back into your music, do you have a creative space or a place you go to that allows you to dive into your creative mind with ease? Is there a place you go to, like a park, or maybe somewhere in your house, or I don't know, where do you go? Library? I don't know. Just curious.
I mean, I'm in my studio or what have you, what may have you, my section of the
Yeah.
of apartment. Um, really, I mean, it would probably be here just because I record here, but really,
Yeah.
probably my mind is that makes those places or is that place. You know what I mean? Like my
Yeah.
mind is gonna create that place and be like, okay, I might listen to certain music to help me get into that space. Like I was saying, with All Black People Go to Heaven, I made that playlist of
Yeah.
just like people, all these bars and stuff. I might have listened to that in the car or wherever, but just in my mind, you kind of
Yeah.
create the canvas that you want to create on.
For sure. We're gonna go ahead and take a musical break. I'm gonna go ahead and play the track called Young Black NIGGA featuring Sin and Fava God.
Yeah.
Fava God by DopeSMOOTHIES. Let's go ahead and give that a listen.
They think when they call me nigga it hurts. Nah, I embrace what I am. I embrace what my ancestors were. From the niggas and the kings of Ethiopia to the niggas and fiends in Northwest DC. We from the same bloodline. My nigga. Never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. Black man, my nigga.
What's on the beat? He be blasting.
Young black nigga, I'm so unapologetic. You love me when I rap, I think you got a fetish. I wrote this off emotion, I don't need no edits. Young black nigga, I'm so unapologetic. You love me when I rap, I think you got a fetish. I wrote this off emotion, I don't need no edit.
Yeah, they love when we rap, they love when we cap, they love when young niggas shoot. Love when a black nigga shoot another black nigga, one rock, they got two. I done told you, man, we soldiers and you know what we gotta do. Energize the youth, militarize cool, they gon' ride too. I was in the coding, man, to get cold as a shoulder can. Silence of the sober lambs, hood with me, cobras and devils better get back, or they pop like a soda can. Whether I hoop or rap, shouldn't impact how you approach a man. Venom running in them, when we blend them, they gon' simmer. Young black nigga look like a plate of Cajun food to sinners. I ain't telling nobody crash, but if a nigga really bout his cash, it's a ticket on Zimmerman ass, since niggas just dashed in the blast. I'll probably be punished for hard living, blind to the facts. All's been written, that's God given. Slave to a stack, whips and cracks. Strip this chat, rips for the less of the pack. The American veil horror, started the house's foundation. To emote the system all the way down to a brown nation. Like a color for another, unify the racist space and unify hatred. Homicide chases, all of our faces. Say, bitch, break it, she made it, bitch, patient, shape it, face it, face it, face it, face it.
Young black nigga, I'm so unapologetic. You love me when I rap, I think you got a fetish. I wrote this off emotion, I don't need no edits. Young black nigga, I'm so unapologetic. You love me when I rap, I think you got a fetish. I wrote this off emotion.
My body, gold frame these Cartiers. Police in the lobby, they don't think I belong in here. They see the skin that I'm in and they turn away. I heard a black man say they gon' learn today. These dreadlocks got them scared, tattoos got them scared. They put money on his head, black skin, blood red. If it ain't white, it ain't right, it's sure. If it ain't black, it ain't that full clip. We coming together now. We spinning that cheddar now. Ain't spinning the bin, we spinning the win. Investing in black and brown. We never ignorant, we getting goals accomplished. Protect your energy, don't entertain the gossip. We know the enemy do anything for profit. Don't want no black messiah, Father God the prophet. Don't sell your soul, young nigga. Stick to the core, young nigga.
Black nigga, I'm so unapologetic. You love me when I rap, I think you got a fetish. I wrote this off emotion, I don't need no edits. Young black nigga, I'm so unapologetic. You love me when I rap, I think you got a fetish. I wrote this off emotion, I don't need no edit.
You're listening to 99.1 FM Downtown Radio, the antidote to corporate radio. You're now tuned to SpeakerBox X, subtraining hip hop in effect with your host V-Riv. And we have DopeSMOOTHIES in the studio. We just played the track called Young Black NIGGA featuring Sin and Thought of God off his brand new album called Send All Your Hate Mail. and we've just been diving into the mind of Dope Smoothies. So let's go ahead and talk about that track. When I heard that track reminds me of what Tupac said. He said that NIGGA means never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. I'm wondering were you inspired by Tupac? Was that a track that was inspired by Tupac?
So yeah, of course. So I definitely didn't want, if anybody knew, I definitely wanted people to think about that, like from the Tupac perspective, because it's definitely not something that I created or I coined. It's something that I think got lost in the mainstream media. We're talking about what the mainstream media wanted to talk about as it pertained to Tupac, and it kind of got lost in all of that. But just like the whole thug life thing did, all that got what it really meant, and it all got lost. But the first artist on their season, he sent me that record already with the hook. Rose Gold produced it. He put the hook on there, and he sent that to me like probably like peak America's on Fire from the riots and protests and stuff. Like he just sent it to me. He was like, "Yo, I just did this hook." Like we sent songs, we were sending songs back and forth. That one, he sent it to me, and I had it since whenever the George Floyd original protest really got going, like really was ramped up. So I just had it though. I had it. I knew what I was going to say on it, but I didn't feel comfortable, I guess. Everything was so raw. Everything was so fresh. Everything was so like, it wasn't like a situation where I could just turn off my feelings to everything that was really going on and record. So I like just would be like, all right, I know I'm gonna make this song. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna talk about. I know how I want to do it. And then he already made that hook. And so when I heard the hook, I heard it in the way that Tupac is in my head, breaking down NIGGA. And so it just put me in that mind frame. And when I get like midway through that verse, and I go into I'll probably be punished for how I live and blind to the facts. When I go into that line right there, that's when I'm like giving the homage to Tupac, because that's the line from the Bone Thugs record. And I just felt like when I got Father God on there, I knew he was going to further elaborate on what I was coming from. And then that intro by my guy BJ Banks just put the icing on the cake, because he goes into further origins and the NIGGA to the NEGUS. And so like there's so many I guess layers to that record and how it came together. But I'm so glad that Season sent that to me, because Season is another artist you gotta get tapped into. Y'all will have great conversations. Like he's a super
okay,
like,
send him my way.
super hardworking, like all about the music, all about just getting doing better stuff every time he works. So we've really been locked in. I think he's been on maybe all my projects this year, except for maybe one or two. So shout out to Season, because that pen is crazy. Voice, he can rap, he do it all for real. He's like me.
Yeah, awesome. That's good. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So during this time, during quarantine, what do you enjoy doing in your free time? What movies, books, magazines, podcasts have you been reading and or listening to lately?
Netflix, whatever's on Netflix, just Netflix, it's hit or miss. But I recently read The Celestine Prophecy, which is probably my favorite book, like the short list of books that I've read all the way through. But The Celestine Prophecy is for sure number one. It definitely felt like a necessary read for me. Like it felt like it came at the perfect time during quarantine, during everything, like to just keep me moving forward to the point where I could drop these 2 projects in November. Yeah, you know, just hanging out. Like I guess just being at ease, just being cool. Like if I can just chill with my girl, chill with like if it's a family, like Thanksgiving was cool. Just being able to be around family, be around friends, and just have a good like nothing's on the line here, like just chilling.
Everything's cool. That was good stuff. What on Netflix have you been like? Are you a fan of? Like, are you a fan of horror, action, comedy? What type of movies are you into?
I don't know. I'm into good stuff. Like Queen's Gambit is really good. I really like that show. That's
show.
probably something that I watched recently. That's a good show. Like that's a good show. I'm glad I watched that. What else have I been watching? I don't know. Like I guess I just watched I've been watching like The Office over and over. Like, I'll start The Office over and watch. Yeah, I'll do that.
That's
like
good stuff.
it's like a vibe to me. Like you just turn The Office on from episode 1 and just let it go. See how far you get. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to jump in. I can't really say what stuff I'm into because I don't really feel like I'm into anything particular. I think that if it's good, I'll find it and then I'll be on it.
Nice. This album, it seems to. I feel like this album was like the aggressive side. Send All Your Hate Mail compared to Return to Sender. It's like duality. It's the opposite. Like with Return to Sender, that album's more. It's not as aggressive. It's more. It's different. It's. I can't pinpoint the sound, but it doesn't sound as aggressive. It's much more chill. It's a chill vibe I got from Return to Sender compared to Send All Your Hate. Like that's just fire. Like that was just like, you know what I mean? But the other one was like the opposite. It was like, okay, I'm gonna ride the waves now. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna ride the waves now. I was, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm gonna burn everything down. But now it's like the calm after the storm. There you go. That's the best way to put it. Your Thunder was a calm after the storm. Yeah.
You get it. I mean, it's so many ways to interpret it. Like it's so many ways. That's one of them. For sure. But like when you say like I'm super like I'm like I self-proclaim myself as like the king of like wordplay and like just the phonetic, like the way words sound phonetically and using things to like know that I can reach someone that hears it this way different than someone that hears it that way. But when you say Return to Sender, if you say it fast enough or you just say it kind of in a sentence, it might sound like Return to Center. And if Return to Center, you're kind of coming back to your core or your inner, like your most conscious yourself, like who you are. And that might be just riding the waves out. That might be just being the wave, being that vibration that just isn't a physical, being that, So it's so many ways that's why I say like that. The project is really one album. Like it's really, you can listen to the album from All Black People Go to Heaven to User Music too. And that's the way that the album was like meant to be. Like that's the story. That's the way that it was meant to be seen or heard. But at the same time, before I made that sequence and made that album that way with these 19 songs, I was trying it out so many ways. So even if you shuffle it, when you listen to all 19 songs, you'll get this album feel. You'll get like a different feel, like of what kind of album it could have been, because it was going to be a 19-track album. I just felt like it would do the back half a disservice if I dropped 19 songs when the back 10 are just as good as the front 9. You know what I mean?
Oh wow, yeah. Cool. That's
Yeah.
good. Good stuff. So I have a fun question for you. This is a fun question. What food can you not be without if the apocalypse happened?
Food,
Yeah.
I'm probably not like what food can I not be without? Like if it came down to it, like
Yeah.
probably
I
like
had
an orange or
cereal.
something.
Oh, orange?
Like
Okay.
tangerine or something like that. Yeah, like just cause like always like, you know what I'm saying, I can always just bust a orange or a tangerine, tangelo, whatever. That's always, it's never a bad time for that.
Okay. All right. Sweet. I've always have interesting conversations about it. Some people are like cereal. Some people are like top ramen. Some people. So yeah, I mean, so it's dope. So you got
I'm like
orange.
that. Yeah, like just
Yeah.
something like that. Like I would say something like, because an orange, like you can drop on the ground and like you can
Yeah,
still
that's
pick
so
it
good.
up and you can still
Yeah.
like do what you gotta do. Like it's more mood. Like if the apocalypse happened, like I wouldn't be able to be as clean with like the way things go to have like cereal. Where would the bowl be? Where would the
Yeah.
spoon be? You gotta think about that stuff. Like, I wouldn't want to like be eating out of the box forever. Like that would be weird. You know? But
No, yeah.
that's just what my mind thinks. I was just thinking what would be the
Yeah.
easiest to be on the go with. Stay
Yeah, no, for
clean.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So let's go ahead and talk about also this is just a fun question too, another fun question. For Halloween, when you were a kid, what was your favorite Halloween costume of all time?
Either Zorro or shoot. I want to say Commando, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but dang, that's a good question. Yeah, I'm gonna go with one of those, Zorro or Commando. I'm gonna say Commando because it was more cool to have a toy gun than it was to have a toy sword. So I'm gonna say Commando, and the paint and the all that came with that. That was Commando used to be my movie. I'm kind of showing my age, but that movie's older than me. It's way older than me, but my aunt just happened to put me onto it at a certain time
Yeah.
in my life, and I was just like hooked on watching Commando. Shout out Radon Chong. The GOAT.
Nice. Cool. We're gonna go ahead and talk about your album Return to Sender. 34K. So what inspired the creation of that track, 34K?
So that record actually, the featured artist on there, her name is 34K. I met her in
Oh,
San
okay.
Antonio
Okay.
at a open mic or whatever, and she was playing like an acoustic, like she was singing like with an acoustic guitar or whatever. She was so fire, like live. Like I saw it, and I was just like, "Yo, she's crazy." But she was super regular, super chill. I just went up to her, was like, I make music. I love what you just did. If we could work, I would be really like happy about that. And she was super cool. Like she gave me her email, and I gave her off of what was this? Campfire Stories, I believe. Garden Dreams. She's on Garden Dreams. That's the first song that I sent her to get on with me, and she wrote her part on that. So it's clear like she's writing, like I ain't write this for her. She did this stuff all the
Yeah.
way remote. Really, we working remote at this point. Same with on Garden Dream, she did it and it was dope. So when I had this new record, so actually the record's called Feathers, and the reason that's called Feathers is because I had a song that came out, and I don't remember the year, maybe 2015. I'm not really sure the year, but I had this record where I was kind of like interpolating Maxwell's something something song, where I'm like, if it's cool, basically, and then I don't know what the next. If it's cool, we can groove. It was basically a flip on a Maxwell song, but
Yeah.
I had an idea that I was going to sample my old song and make basically a new and improved version of that song. And so that's what I did. I wrote the record. I did it. I sampled the little "If It's Cool" part where I'm saying that, and then I rapped. I gave this whole verse. Went through this whole verse, where I'm going through just kind of, I guess, kind of just the original perspective of the song, and then brought it to like a current place that I was in mentally. And so what I did was I made that song, and it was cool. And I sent it to, I sent it to 34K. I hit her on IG. I'm like, yo, I had this song. If you could just ad lib it, I would be so happy because you sound cool, and it'll sound cool if you just ad lib the song. So she gets it, and then like it wasn't like she got it right back. Like, I guess a lot of stuff was going on. So it was a little time between when I sent it to her.
Yeah.
But I wasn't tripping because I knew she was like going to send me back something that I was going to be so happy with. I did not know she was going to do that part at the beginning like that.
Okay.
So she did that part at the beginning. It sets the tone. Like, it feels heavenly. It feels like doves flying out of a freaking box or something. And
it does.
then she ad-libs the whole thing, and it just is like, it's a perfect record. It's the perfect song. And so like every time I get her on a song, I'm so happy because, like I said, I saw her in real life. I met her, didn't know her from nowhere, was in a foreign city to me. I'm in San Antonio, and she just killed it. I introduced myself. We exchanged information. I think she might have stayed for my set. I think she did, I'm not sure, but she didn't hear my music really before we exchanged info. And then now we got like two of my favorite songs, and Garden Dreams and Feathers. So shout out to 34K. He's a GOAT.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Super
All right, so
talented.
we're almost at the tail end. Yeah, we're at the tail end of the interview. So my last question to you is, what are your words of wisdom for someone wanting to do what you do? What are your words? What has been your struggle? Have you had struggles in this industry, or how has it been for you?
I would say don't be me. First of all, don't even try to be me. Don't even you could never be me, and I could never be you. And that goes on and on and on for everybody out here. But if you want to if you want to follow the path of building your own foundation and, gaining the experience in the field that you want to be in, and just having the ownership over the things that you created, I would say that understand that it's not nothing that is for anybody that's weak or that thinks that they're weak or that gives up on anything easy, because it's going to be more of that than it's going to be the moments where you feel like it's all worth what you put into it. But the key to all of that is, it sounds so bad, sounds so dark, sounds heavy. The key to it is to love the work that you do. Love what you make, love what your purpose, love what you feel like you are out here doing. Do it for a reason, do it for a purpose. Then all the things that come with it, it feels like it's making this purpose that much more important or that much more impactful when you reach that point that you're blindly chasing. So like I said, it's if you know that if you're something that you quit on things easy, get you something that's set and going to pay you every 2 weeks or 1 week, and check in and check out, because that is more for what you. But if you know that you're a determined person, that even when you were getting knocked down, you always would get up and come back and keep coming back, that's all you really need. It's just that mentality that you never down, you never could be down, or you know what I'm saying? You never can be out of something.
For sure. Okay, and I have one last question to ask you. Okay, do you want to share a personal experience you've had? Would you like to share a personal experience or something most people don't know about you?
I was in the choir. Like, I was in the choir don't know what year this was. Maybe middle school, like middle school or early high school. I'm not really sure, but I definitely was in the choir. My mom was trying. I definitely was in the choir, and I'm not even gonna lie. I definitely hated it. I did not enjoy it. It wasn't like a secret guilty pleasure of mine. Like I secretly enjoyed. No, I hated it. But I definitely feel like I got a cheat code in like just what things are supposed to sound like, or like how arrangements supposed to go, how like what's supposed to feel like when the hook come back, or like what's supposed to feel like when a bridge is about to come in. Like I definitely feel like just being there, being around that was like somehow beneficial for what I do now. You know.
No, it's good. Good stuff.
But I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't know what I do that's like people would be surprised that I do. Like
I'm surprised about the choir.
Like if I play, like I'll play like old video games. Like I'll still play like if the new game is out, like 2K21 is out or whatever, I'll still play like Live 19 just because I like the way the game plays or something. Like I'll just do something like I'll be the only one that does that's playing that or something.
That's good. Good stuff. Good stuff. So thank you, DopeSMOOTHIES, for being on SpeakerBox X. It was a pleasure having you as always. Make sure to check out he has 2 albums out. Not only one, he has 2, actually 3. You also have Floyd. But the ones that just recently came out are Return to Sender and also Send Out Your Hate Mail. Oh yes, and that too.
And highs and lows too. It's a total of like 8.
Yeah. Wow.
There's
8.
a lot of
oh my god.
All came out in 2020. They all came out this year. So I'm not dropping old. I'm not dropping old albums in here. I'm saying like these are the most recent batch.
Yeah, these are the most recent ones. Yeah. I gotta catch up with the other batch. I just
Yeah,
but for sure check out.
Currency has like 1,000 tapes, so I got a long way to go.
Yeah, for sure. So make sure to check out all his albums, but the most recent ones that we spoke about are Return to Sender and also Send All Your Hate Mail. Both of them are super dope. And thank you for being on SpeakerBox X, DopeSMOOTHIE. You've always been a dope person to talk to.
Sorry for being late. Sorry for being late. I appreciate you. Like I said, you always showing love. You always showing support. You know, you doing your thing. I love it. Keep doing it. If you ever, I'm gonna send you those artists I was talking about too, because they're definitely having good conversations with you on here and like help your brain just spread into more different.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, send me all the DMV artists, why not, and everybody else that that are that are artists, and that'll be dope. Thank you. But yeah, I love your music because I like your voice, your delivery, and also your rhymes. And you don't just talk. I mean, you have fun tracks, that you could just dance to and get down and chill. But you also have those deep ones where you make people think. And I love that you make people like think about things, like your thought processes. You're into politics. You talk about the political, social, economical. I mean, you talk about so many different topics in your music. That's why I really enjoy like listening to you, because you cover everything, man. You know what I mean? Like, and you do it in a good way, like in a way that it makes people want to tune in. So that's what's really cool. So props to you, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. This is dope. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, have a good day. Oh yeah.
That's where you
make sure to
subscribe
go to
on there. Follow me on Instagram, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. And he has awesome merch, so make sure to cop a shirt. I did, so get that DopeSMOOTHIE shirt. Sweet.
For sure.
All right.
For sure.
All right. Have a good one. Peace. Take care, man.
I'm having crazy thoughts circulating through my mind. Oh my.
and I still ain't met you. Kept in touch through the internet, reflecting on everything, we ain't finished yet. 7 years later, I'm still in debt. Feeling that, ooh, I'm feeling that. Yeah, if it's cool, can I get with you? Shit, in the loo, in the living room. Yeah, swimming pool with your boy on the side of it. Bitch, I might even get inside of it. I mean the pool, get your mind out the gutter, girl, you's a wild mother of a beautiful world that I gotta say is a little unusual, but it's cool. I knew that ever since elementary. Why they don't wanna play with me friendly? My mom used to say it's cause they like you, Christopher. Then why I don't feel like it then? I never done biker dance, but I should. If it made me feel better than I feel when niggas who's supposed to build try to kill my will for good. The huff you thought this was, nigga. A pure-hearted soul, still a killer man. Just cause I got my soul don't mean I'm tied down. Just mean I gotta let you deal with God now. But I won't put my dogs down till y'all's down. Prosecco with some OJ in an omelet. I hope white people see me like OJ that speak Ebonics. I cut your ass up until you vomit. I'm talking sick to your stomach. If I sign a deal, I hope it feel harmonic. I ain't gonna lie, wish the thunder was through the sonic. Learning from the sonics on the chronic. Who's the man with the master plan? A nigga with him up with him gun in his hand. A black man with his little son in his hand. Ever since hell, I got a gun in my pants. I was raised well, still a gun in my pants. I'm an American boy, I'm from the ghetto, it's land. It don't matter who win, nigga, the ghetto will stand. Both the hero and the villain got stand, so what's your plan? They been running this two-party scam since niggas was lambs. Now niggas push lambs. Nobody persevere like niggas can. Nobody still here like niggas stand.